Hello everyone. I'm making this blog about how deaf people have to face hearing face and deaf face sign. This is what a deaf person always has to do, because in between a hearing world and the deaf world, where the deaf person has to lip read and voice because they were trained, because of the hearing person's face. Deaf people communicate in sign language. Hearing people wants to criticize, judge, and cochlear implant deaf so they can speak, so the hearing can have their benefit. Anyways, my point of this is this. Facing the choice between Deaf Event Weekend, facing a choice between the family, social, and the deaf friends. As the deaf person says, I must make a choice constantly. Any wonder why I choose the deaf friends? Question. I get such a great pleasure at the deaf clubs. Before I realize it's already 2 a.m. in the morning, where constantly look at the clock. Every few minutes, family reunions with deaf people, I feel so normal. Our communication flows back and forth and catch up on everything, trivia, our daily life, our functions in the bigger world. With a smile and laughter are musical. So magical to them, to the deaf person. So attending to each other's feelings. True happiness. So important. I feel more at home with deaf people than I do the most of my own hearing relatives, family, friends. And you wonder why our language is we understand each other. Begin to lose control of the environment that communication People panic and treat to avoid deaf people like the point. But deaf people are still human beings with a dream and desire to need to belong just like everyone else. All of you hearing people say that is the most important thing to do in lives is to communicate. Total communication. Total communication. But yet, hearing people look down on the deaf person and make that deaf person feel like there's something wrong with that deaf person just because they cannot speak and they cannot hear. But you form your concept opinionated on the deaf person just because they're deaf and they can't speak. You think that the only thing in this world is meaningful that you can accomplish is have to be hearing, that you have to learn how to lip read and to voice. You hearing people really don't understand how much of a struggle a deaf person has to go through to learn how to lip read, how to communicate. Just as much as you have a developing and a building blocks of language, of English, deaf people need their own language building blocks of their language and sign language. Hearing people don't think that so because you cannot hearing people ask deaf people, can you lip read me? Can you lip read me? Can you lip read? And the other answer from a deaf person is, can you sign? Because you hearing people think that the only thing that's happening in this world, English, is English. You make sure that your hearing world's the top of English. And you tear up and disrespect the deaf culture by trying to tell them that they're wrong and they're not, they can't live because they're deaf and they have ASL, which is meaning sign language. They have as much right as you do as having the English. I know. Excuse me. excuse me, I know that parents are supposed to make sure that their babies, their kids, are supposed to be able to be successful in everything that the world gives them. I'm not saying that I agree to this, but if you want your child to be successful, and if you give them the cochlear implant, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I like it. I'm against cochlear implants. No, I'm not deaf, but I support the deaf. Yes, I do. That's why I'm saying at the same time, deaf has their rights to their language as much as you have your hearing rights to be English, to hear. Now, it's stupid and dumb and pathetic that a deaf person has to choose to go to a hearing world and a deaf world. In the deaf world, they can sign and communicate and enjoy. In the hearing world, all the hearing people are mostly 50% to 60% hearing people are so pig-headed with themselves and that they think, oh, I'm hearing. I don't sign. I'm hearing. It's like the deaf don't understand that. They do understand that. You don't have to say, I come out and say, I'm hearing. No, we already know that you're hearing. In a world where you can choose anything, choose kindness. Okay? Thank you for listening. Oh, by the way, all of you hearing people in all 50 states, the people who don't know sign language, the people that speak every day and don't think that, oh, there's deaf people in the world, your opinion will define who you are. Simple as that. I am not deaf. No. I'm a dyslexic and have an auditory processing disorder. But I can still learn how to sign with deaf. What about you? You hearing people learn everything. But you never take the chance and to understand a perspective of a different person's world or language. Not everyone is stupid. I'm not stupid, and you hearing people don't know me. You don't know me. Maybe only by this video that I put. Thank you, and ho. I'm not here to judge you, to criticize you, to go against you, to hate you. Nothing like that. That's not who I am. I don't judge. I don't criticize. I don't bully no one. We all have different languages, different opinions, different cultures, different languages, different color of skin. But we are all human. Respect each other. Namaste.